Coffee is one of the most consumed drinks in the world, but have you ever stopped to think about how instant coffee is actually made? How do fresh coffee beans growing on trees in faraway countries turn into tiny granules that dissolve instantly in hot water? Most people assume it's just ground up coffee, but the truth is far more complex. The journey from raw coffee beans to instant coffee involves high-tech machines, extreme temperatures, and a carefully controlled drying process that takes place inside massive factories. What really happens inside these factories? How is the coffee brewed on such a large scale? And how do they remove all the water while keeping the flavour intact? The process is nothing short of mind-blowing, from high-pressure brewing to advanced drying techniques that transform liquid coffee into fine crystals. Today we're uncovering the fascinating, hidden process behind instant coffee, step by step. You'll never look at your morning cup the same way again. Step 1. Selecting and harvesting the coffee beans. The journey of instant coffee begins with selecting the right coffee beans. Not all coffee beans are suitable for making instant coffee. Manufacturers carefully source beans from top coffee-producing countries such as Brazil, Colombia, Vietnam, and Ethiopia. These regions have ideal climates and soil conditions, ensuring high-quality beans with rich flavours and aromas. Coffee plants take about 3 to 4 years to mature before they start producing coffee cherries. These cherries contain the precious coffee beans inside. Once ripe, farmers harvest them using two main methods: hand-picking and mechanical harvesting. Hand-picking is labour-intensive but ensures only the best, ripest cherries are selected. Mechanical harvesting, on the other hand, is faster but can result in a mix of ripe and unripe beans. After harvesting, the cherries undergo a processing phase to remove the outer layers and extract the raw green coffee beans. This is done using either the dry method, sun-drying the cherries and then removing the beans, or the wet method, using water to separate the beans from the fruit. Once the beans are extracted, they are dried, sorted and graded to ensure only the best quality beans move forward in the process. At this stage, the beans are still green and have no familiar coffee smell or taste. They must now go through the most crucial transformation: roasting. Step 2. Roasting. Roasting is where coffee develops its signature aroma, colour and flavour. Raw green coffee beans are loaded into large industrial roasting machines, where they are heated to temperatures between 350 degrees Fahrenheit and 450 degrees Fahrenheit, 176 degrees Celsius, 232 degrees Celsius. The heat triggers a series of complex chemical reactions, caramelizing sugars and releasing natural oils that give coffee its rich taste. The duration and temperature of roasting determine the type of coffee flavour. Light roasts retain more acidity and a delicate taste, while medium roasts offer a balanced flavour. Dark roasts have a bold, smoky taste, often preferred for instant coffee. Factories use precise temperature controls and computerized roasting systems to achieve the perfect roast profile. As the beans roast, they expand and change colour from green to golden brown and finally to dark brown. The beans also emit a loud cracking sound, known as the first and second crack, signalling different stages of roasting. Once the beans reach the desired roast level, they are rapidly cooled to stop the cooking process. At this point, the beans are full of aroma, but are still in their solid form. To turn them into instant coffee, they must first be ground into a fine powder. Step 3. Grinding. Now that the coffee beans have been perfectly roasted, they move on to the next crucial step: grinding. This is where the beans are crushed into tiny particles to prepare them for brewing. But grinding isn't as simple as it seems. The size of the coffee grounds plays a huge role in the final taste. If the grind is too coarse, the flavours won't fully extract, leading to a weak and bland coffee. If it's too fine, it can create a bitter and overly strong taste. Factories must find the perfect balance to ensure the best possible flavour in every cup. To achieve this precision, factories use high-tech industrial grinders such as roller mills and burr grinders, which crush the beans into uniform particles. However, there's a major challenge. Grinding generates heat, and too much heat can burn the coffee and ruin its natural aroma. To prevent this, some factories use an advanced technique called cryogenic grinding, where liquid nitrogen is used to cool the coffee beans before grinding. This helps preserve the delicate flavours and prevents any loss of aroma, ensuring that the coffee retains its rich, natural taste. Once the grinding is complete, the coffee is now in the perfect form for brewing. But unlike your regular home coffee machine, factories brew coffee on a massive scale, extracting every bit of flavour efficiently. This next step is where the transformation from ground coffee to liquid concentrate begins, setting the stage for the journey toward instant coffee. Step 4. Brewing. At this stage, the ground coffee is transformed into liquid coffee concentrate, which will later become instant coffee. But unlike regular coffee made at home, instant coffee needs to be brewed first before it turns into its dry, dissolvable form. This process happens on a massive industrial scale, using high-pressure brewing machines that extract all the essential flavours, caffeine and oils from the coffee grounds. The goal is to capture the full richness of the coffee while ensuring it remains concentrated and flavourful. To achieve this, the ground coffee is placed inside large stainless steel percolators, where hot water, heated to around 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 93 degrees Celsius, is forced through the coffee under extreme pressure. This method is similar to brewing an espresso shot, but instead of a small cup, factories brew enormous quantities at once. The high pressure helps extract deep, bold flavours, while preserving the natural oils that give coffee its signature taste and aroma. This process can take several hours, allowing every bit of flavour to be pulled from the coffee grounds. However, at this stage, the coffee is still in liquid form. To turn it into instant coffee, it must undergo a special drying process that removes all moisture while keeping the flavours intact. This next step is one of the most technologically advanced parts of the process, where liquid coffee is carefully dried to create the fine granules we recognise as instant coffee. Step 5. Drying. Turning liquid coffee into granules. One of the most critical steps in making instant coffee is removing water from the brewed coffee while preserving its rich flavour and aroma. This process ensures that the coffee remains soluble, fresh, and full of taste even after being stored for long periods. Factories use two advanced drying methods, spray drying and freeze drying, each with its own advantages. The goal is to retain as much of the coffee's natural essence as possible, while transforming it into a lightweight, easily dissolvable form. Spray drying, the faster, more common. Method spray drying is the most widely used method due to its speed and efficiency. The brewed coffee is first concentrated and then sprayed into a large drying chamber filled with extremely hot air, reaching around 480 degrees Fahrenheit, 250 degrees Celsius. As the tiny droplets of liquid coffee fall through this heated environment, the water quickly evaporates, leaving behind fine coffee particles. These particles are collected and processed into a powdery, instant coffee that dissolves easily when mixed with water. While spray drying is cost-effective and fast, it can sometimes lead to a slight loss of flavour and aroma due to the high heat exposure. To counter this, some manufacturers blend micro-ground coffee particles into the final product to enhance the taste and provide a richer coffee experience. Despite minor drawbacks, spray drying remains the preferred method for mass production because it allows factories to produce large quantities of instant coffee efficiently. Freeze drying, the premium method. For those who seek a more authentic coffee taste, freeze drying is the gold standard. This method takes extra care to preserve the natural flavours, oils and aroma of the coffee. The process begins by freezing the brewed coffee at -50 degrees Celsius, -58 degrees Fahrenheit, turning it into a solid ice block. This frozen coffee is then placed in a vacuum chamber, where a special process called sublimation occurs. Instead of melting, the ice directly transforms into vapour, leaving behind dry coffee granules without affecting their original structure. Since freeze drying does not use high heat, it helps retain more of the coffee's natural characteristics, making the final product taste closer to freshly brewed coffee. However, this process is more expensive and time-consuming than spray drying, which is why freeze-dried coffee is usually found in premium, instant coffee brands. The extra cost is often justified by superior taste, richer aroma, and better solubility when mixed with hot water. Once the coffee is dried using either of these methods, it has now taken its final instant coffee form. But before it can be packaged and sent to consumers, it must go through strict quality checks to ensure it meets industry standards. This next stage ensures that every granule of instant coffee delivers a perfect, flavourful cup every time. Step 6. Quality control. Before the instant coffee is packaged, it undergoes rigorous quality testing. Experts test for solubility. Does the coffee dissolve perfectly in water? Flavour and aroma. Does it retain the rich coffee taste? Moisture content. Is it dry enough to prevent spoilage? Factories may also blend different batches to maintain consistency and flavour. If a batch doesn't meet quality standards, adjustments are made before moving to the packaging phase. Step 7. Packaging. Once the instant coffee is perfectly dried, it needs proper packaging to maintain its freshness, aroma, and flavour. Since coffee is highly sensitive to moisture, air, and light, factories use airtight packaging to protect it from external factors that could degrade its quality. Depending on the brand and product type, instant coffee is packed in glass jars for premium brands, vacuum-sealed bags to block out moisture, or single-serving sachets for convenience and portability. Each packaging method is designed to keep the coffee fresh for an extended period, ensuring that every cup tastes just as rich as the day it was made. To further prolong shelf life, some manufacturers use a process called nitrogen flushing. This involves removing oxygen from the packaging and replacing it with nitrogen gas, which prevents oxidation and spoilage. This technique helps keep the coffee fresh, aromatic and flavourful for months or even years. Once sealed, the coffee is ready to be shipped worldwide, making it possible for millions of people to enjoy a quick and delicious cup of coffee anytime, anywhere. Outro. From carefully harvested coffee cherries to advanced drying techniques, the journey of instant coffee is nothing short of amazing. What seems like a simple convenience is actually the result of years of research, advanced technology, and precise craftsmanship. So next time you make a quick cup of instant coffee, you'll know the incredible process that went into it. Do you prefer instant coffee or freshly brewed? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more amazing business documentaries.